What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Offside Bets. We are back for football season. We are excited to kick off the NFL Week 1, which is commencing this Thursday, the 9th of September. So we're excited about that. I'm Adam, that's Junior, and we are ready to get go! Okay, Junior, NFL is back. We got packed stadiums, people playing in their home city, all this great stuff. It's going to be another epic year. Obviously, Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl last year. We're going to break down some power rankings, and then we're going to go through all of Week 1 coverage to get all the bets for us. What are your initial thoughts on the upcoming NFL season? And then we'll jump into the power rankings.
Oh, geez. We don't have any Sundays without football left. We've gotten through it, and it's been a pretty arduous trip down the summer path of still being some interesting sports out there, obviously. But, we took the hiatus off of bets specifically to focus this and kind of introduce our NFL slate in terms of what we're doing for the NFL and the upcoming season. So this is bets kicking it off. We're going to come to you every week, and we're going to break down every game. We're going to give you our picks. We're going to give you some parlays. We're going to do some little tricks and some little things to help you guys make some money. We've got a great system that has been making us bank.
When we focus in on one of these sports and we decide that we're going to go all in with a system, we've been upwards of 70% on our clip rate. In some cases, I think we were 80%.
84 for March Madness.
It was just unbelievable, which we're looking extremely forward to. And stay tuned because you might see some college football. Maybe we might do college football. We're thinking about it. We're fence.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know if we should hit the NCAA football season too.
And smash that like button, hit our subscribe button.
If you guys want everything. We'll give it to you.
Just tell us. Yeah, if you want it, we will make the videos.
In exchange, we'll make the videos. We'll give you our picks. We'll give you everything. But you got to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the post notifications on. And we're going to give you guys everything that you want.
Yes. Okay, let's jump right into the power rankings because this is interesting. When I looked at it, I thought it was a little bit interesting to see some of the teams there. Some obviously are obvious, but let's pull it up right here. So we have the Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Buffalo Bills. You got the Rams and then the Packers are rounding up the top 5. So what do you think about this top 5 power ranking? This is kind of a collective, looking at a few different power rankings, our power ranking and what we thought and kind of how everything came together. What do you think about these teams standing up here right now?
Well, I mean, when you look at this, obviously the first two, coming out of the Super Bowl, they both got the number 1 and number 2 top ranked offenses in terms of the power ranking, just straight offense. But the Bills, I look at them and in terms of overall depth, like when you walk across the line, you look at the offensive line, their offensive power rankings, their defensive line, their defensive power rankings, their quarterback ranking, the wide receiver rankings. I mean, there's a lot there for them, and that's probably one of the reasons why they're where they're at. When you've got a quarterback like Josh Allen who's rushing for 10 touchdowns a game and you still have a pretty decent running game, with Santana Moss back there, you got, very strong receivers, that's probably why they're at. The Rams, I think, are there specifically for their defense. They traded Goff for Stafford. I think Stafford's going to be an absolute monster this year. If you're still waiting for fantasy, you want to use him as your QB2, you definitely would not be upset doing that because he's going to start mowing things down. He's got great weapons there. And then the Pack, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, you cannot leave this guy out of a power rankings to start his season because he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. Oh, yeah. And he's got great weapons. Everyone knows who his weapons are. And, a pretty decent offensive line. I think they might be middle of the pack. And outside that, he's still pretty highly ranked in terms of what he can do with the ball. So top 5, no huge surprise here for me.
Potentially maybe his last season there too with the renegotiation and stuff with his contract. So maybe he wants to put one up there in Green Bay before maybe moving on to greener pastures. Okay, so we got a lot of games here. It's a big slate, kicking off with the first game coming Thursday, which is going to kick off the NFL season, and that is the Cowboys at Tampa Bay. So this is Tampa Bay's favorite here at minus 7.5 on the points, and then 350 on the money line, and we got the over/under at 51.5.
Yeah. So when we look at the spread from last year, obviously things are going to change a little bit on the Dallas side with Dak Prescott back, which is obviously going to light a fire under Zeke. 22 returning starters for Tampa, so not going to be a huge change in terms of what they're doing. So they're 12-8 against the spread. They were 9-5 against the spread as a favorite. The over/under, they were 11-9, and they were 7-7 as a favorite. And then when you break things down a bit more, obviously power rank number 2, but offensive power rankings, they're number 2. They also have the 29th weakest strength of schedule. Their D line, they're ranked 3. Their defensive rank is 3. QB rank is 3. The receiving corps rank is 1. Going up against Dallas, who is 5-11 against the spread, 4-4 as an underdog, 9-7 over/under, 5-3 as an underdog. For me, for that first game of the season, if there's any chance that Dallas is going to compete with Tampa Bay, it's going to be this game. And I still don't think they can do it. I don't know if there's going to be any shot here. I think that we talked offline how Brady is just ready to ramp it up and prove people that he can play another 7 years. He's got a chip on his shoulder a little bit. So for me, I think I got to take Tampa Bay here. I mean, obviously, you hate that first pick of the year is just chalk, but it's tough to go against Brady here in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any reason why Tampa Bay can't win this game. I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on Zeke, because he's the reports out of the camp are that he's in the best shape, of his career, and obviously he's had not a very good last couple of years.
No.
Is he the biggest piece for Dallas right now?
Well, I think the biggest piece is going to be Dak. I mean, he's a highly rated quarterback in terms of where people place him, out of all active quarterbacks. He's pretty high up on the list. And, horrific injury last year. He's been rehabbing for God knows how long now, and I'm sure he's raring to go. Zeke didn't have a whole lot of help at QB last year. So in terms of that line, I don't know how leaky it's going to be this year. I mean, when you look at their line, they're ranked 6, so they still have a pretty strong offensive line. It's their defense that I think is going to get them into trouble. Their line is ranked, I think, 27th, and defensive power rankings are 26. So their defense isn't going to stop a lot of people, but that offensive line should help get Deke some Deke. Should help.
He'll be hopefully doing a lot of that, though.
The Zeke Deke should allow him to have some precious seconds to make the right cut and hit that hole as hard as he can. So I think he'll have a trending year where it's going to start trending up a bit. But as long as Dak's healthy, then that trend will continue going upwards. Is he going to get back to 2K a year in terms of scrimmage yards? I don't know. That's just a huge gap to make up, but he should have a pretty good year.
Okay. Awesome. Let's take a look at the next game here. So we got the Cards at the Titans. Titans favored -3 on the point line and 155 on the money line, and 52 for the over/under.
Yeah, that's a tough over. So Tennessee, not great against the spread, and especially when they're favored at 4-7. The over/under on their side is interesting, as it tends to hit the over a lot, and 7-3 as a favorite. Jumping on the other side, you've got Arizona, 7-9 against the spread, 3-3 as an underdog, and 5-11 over/under, and 2-4 as an underdog. Now, Cardinals have a bit of a retooled defense. They've got some big players there right now, but that didn't move the needle as much. Their D-line rank is 12, and their defensive power rankings, just because J.J. Watt there, is 13. However, quarterback rank, Kyler Murray is top 10. They do have some new targets there for him, some new toys for him to kind of play around with. But I think this is going to be an over, and I think Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, Brown. I think it's going to be too much for that defense. So here, give me Tennessee, the points, the money line, and the over.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, moving along here, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at Houston Texans. We got 44.5 as the over-under, and Jaguars favored here at -3 in points and -150 on the money line.
It's funny to see a rookie quarterback in Trevor Lawrence on the road for his first NFL start.
Already favored.
And he's favored by 3. I'm not going to break this down. It was a bad year for Houston last year. I don't think Jacksonville has the targets and the talent that everyone thinks that they do. You know, when I look at the defense, it's at the bottom of the league. The offense, it's at the bottom of the league. And, you know, to even have Trevor Lawrence ranked in the top 20 quarterbacks right now is ridiculous. The kid hasn't played a snap yet in the league in real time. So for here, I'm going to take the upset. I think that, you know, there's a quarterback on the Texans right now who has a chip on his shoulder, who's gone through a lot of BS over the offseason and is not very happy in his situation. But the only way to get yourself happy in a bad situation is play your tail off and get traded. So I'm going to take the Houston Texans here.
Okay. All right, let's move along here to the Chargers at the Washington Football Club. The over-under at 44.5. The Chargers favored by 1 point, and on the money line, -120.
Yeah, again, this is the sophomore season for that super rookie out in the, you know, with the Chargers. Sophomore jinx, I think it might be coming down, but to have him favored on the road against one of the top defenses in the league, again, is something that just doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to take Washington to cover the spread. I'm going to take Washington on the money line. And I don't know about that over because when Washington's really controlling the field, I think Chase Young is an absolute animal. And that defensive line, I think, is ranked 2nd in the league. So I think they're going to be pushing all over the Chargers. And I think there's going to be quite a few sacks ringing up for the football team. So give me them all day long.
All day long. There you go. Okay, the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings at Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, so we got the Vikings here favored -3 on the points, -165 on the money line, 44.5 on the over/under.
This is the tale of a very talented Minnesota team with a bad quarterback. I think the era of Kirk Cousins in Minnesota has to end at some point. They need to start looking at options here. You know, to be on the road again, -3 against a quarterback who's coming off his rookie year where he was injured, there's not a whole lot of there to dictate this number not to be bigger than it is. So for me, I'm gonna take that over on the 44.5. I'm gonna hammer that, and I'll take the money line with Minnesota.
All right. Let's take a look at the New York Jets versus the Carolina Panthers. Got Carolina favored here at -5 on the point line, on the point spread. And then on the money line here, we
flip those. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We got them. Yeah, sorry. Apologize for that, guys. Got them at -165 and then 44.5 over/under.
Yeah, again, you know, there's been a lot of changes on both of these teams, but I think this is a case where there's a rookie quarterback in Zach Wilson on the Jets on the road in his first game going up against Carolina. But I would love to take the upset there, but we have a healthy Christian McCaffrey in Carolina who is an absolute game changer. Yep. So for me, I got to take the chalk here. Give me Carolina. The over, the Jets, they're horrible at covering the spread, and if they get they're horrible at scoring points on top of it. So let me hit the under and give me Carolina.
Okay. All right. Philadelphia Eagles at the Atlanta Hawks. Battle of the Birds. -3.5 for Atlanta in points, and then -180 on the money line, and the over/under at 48.
Anyone that wants to say Atlanta is a horrible team, they just happen to have a pretty decent quarterback in Matt Ryan. And to have an offense being run by a rookie, sophomore season for Jalen Hurts, coming in there with pretty bad offensive rankings, I can't see it. I got to take it. The Dirty Birds at home, 3.5. Give me the -180. And this is a tale of two tapes. Either this game's going to go 20 points over or it's going to go 20 points under. So I'll stay away from that. I'll just take Atlanta on the spread and the money line.
Okay. All right. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Buffalo looking good in those power rankings. Favored here, -6.5. -270 on the money line and 48.5 for the over-under.
See, these lines, they just make me think like the bookies want everyone to bet the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills are a great team. But what people are forgetting about that, number one, the Steelers have the toughest schedule this year. They also have the third-ranked defense in the league and the number one defensive line in the league. Now, I think a lot of people don't give Roethlisberger as much attention or respect or credit for anything that's been done in Pittsburgh because let's be honest, in the playoffs the last little while, it hasn't been much. But they've got some great young receivers there. I think Najee Harris is going to be a decent surprise at running back for a rookie. But you've got Bills Mafia. I mean, this is tough. Like I like the Bills. I think that they're going to win this game. I just think that Pittsburgh's going to cover that spread. So give me the Bills on the money line and give me the Steelers to cover the spread.
Okay. What about the over-under on this game?
Jeez, if Buffalo gets going, that's going to go over big time. But I think Pittsburgh's got a lot to prove here. So let's go the over.
Okay. All right. Seattle Seahawks at the Colts. I got Seattle here favored. Point spread 2.5. And then you got the money line at -145. Over-under at 48.5.
Yeah, this is again Seattle on the road at Indy. I mean, if Indy had a better quarterback, I would be all over this on their side. I love Taylor. I think he's one of the top running backs in the league. But I think Russ has something to prove here. I mean, they didn't do much work in terms of that offensive line. It's still towards the bottom of the league. Their defense has been taking hits, but Russ he has the ability to create so much, and he's got a decent running game with Chris Carson. He's got decent receivers. Well, I mean, I would say more than decent receivers with Lockett and that entire receiving core.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take Seattle. I'm going to take them to cover the spread. I'm going to take them on the money line, and I'm going to take the over.
Okay. San Francisco 49ers at your team, the Detroit Lions. Hey, I just realized this is kind of a battle of us right here. I got the 49ers jersey on. Hold on, we got to pull this off here. So I got the Niners jersey on. You got the Barry Sanders, a couple of Hall of Famers there.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's bring that back up and take a look here. So tail of the tape on this one, you got the Niners favored 7.5 on the point spread, -370 on the money line, and 45.5 is the over/under for this game.
If there's any spot where the Lions beat the 49ers, it's going to be the first game of the season.
Week 1, right?
Yeah. There's been so many changes from top down. GM, coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, new quarterback. They lost pretty much every receiver they had. But the two things they do have there is DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson. And these guys are set and primed for an absolute breakout year. Jared Goff's coming from a system where he had a lot more toys at wide receiver, but I think the guys that are there right now in Detroit, I think they're going to surprise a few people. And the one thing that Goff is walking into is the fact that the Lions have the 10th ranked offensive line, which is going to give him time to do his checkdowns, to go through his rotations and make the right pass. It's up to Goff to make the right pass at the end of the day, but he's going to have the time to do it. For me, I don't think that the spread is indicative of where these two teams are. There was a lot of unanswered questions with San Fran last year, a lot of injuries that hit that team hard. Yep. I don't think that they've done enough to merit the rankings they have. And they've just been abysmal at covering the spread. They haven't been scoring points. I don't think Garoppolo is the quarterback of the future.
It looks like Trey Lance is going to have a significant role on this team. It's really a question of whether or not, or when.
When. I think it's when if
right?
anything.
He's going to kind of take over Jimmy G's role with that ridiculous contract.
Yeah. But what I'm going to say is this is going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to go over. It's going to be close. This is going to be in the trenches. But I think the Lions, who are good at covering spreads as an underdog, are going to cover that spread. I just don't know if there's going to be enough points to hit that over. But, it is Detroit, and we've been known to leak 4 or 5 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to lose games. So
only a few times.
You know what? Give me the Lions to cover the spread, and I'm going to tease a little bit on the Lions to actually win that game.
Detroit needs something to look forward to besides Cade Cunningham, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Although they do have Garza, who
the Pistons look
we're
decent.
big fans of, right? All right, let's take a look at the Broncos. I believe this is the first game of the 4 o'clocks.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we got the Broncos at the New York Giants, minus 2.5 points, minus 150 on the money line, and 42 for the over/under for this game.
Yeah, the Giants are bad. Let's be honest. Every ranking they've got is in the top end. Sorry, the low end of the league. They do have some nice receivers there. Kenny Golladay went over there from Detroit. They do have a hopefully healthy Saquon Barkley, who has the ability to turn a 5-yard run into a 35-yard run with the flick of a switch. But whether he's going to stay healthy or not, that's the other question. Do they have the right quarterback in New York? I don't know. So if we turn that on its end in Denver, do we have the right quarterback there? I don't know. I don't know if Teddy Bridgewater is the guy to get it done in Denver. But Drew Lock hasn't been the guy to get it done in Denver. So, they've been searching for a quarterback since Peyton Manning, basically. End of the day, I think this is going to be a stinker. I think that the Denver defense is going to control this game. I do like them on the road. I think Teddy B can get some stuff done with his legs. So give me the Broncos with the points. Give me the Broncos on the line, and I'm not going to touch the over/under.
Yeah, I hope Saquon, they ease him nice and slowly back into this mix because he's a bright star for him. I really enjoy watching him run the ball. All right, let's move over to Green Bay. The Pack over at the Saints of New Orleans. We got minus 4.5 on the point spread in favor of Green Bay, minus 200 on the money line, and the over/under at 50.
Oh. I'm not even going to get into this. Give me Green Bay spread line and give me the over.
Okay.
He's
just gonna come out just firing, eh?
He's got a chip on his shoulder, and when he gets angry, he gets things done. And I don't think that Jameis Winston is going to be the guy to get things done in New Orleans. No. I don't think the other guy they got there, Taysom Hill, is going to be the guy to get things done. The only sacrifice that they've got is that Alvin Kamara is an absolutely phenomenal running back. Absolutely love his game. The fact that he can get out in the flat and take a little 5-yard flick, turn it into a 60, 70-yard run. They do have a pretty good defense as well, but I just think that the targets that the Packers have and the running game that they've got are just going to be too much for the Saints to handle. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. I could see like a 45-32 kind of game.
Okay. All right. The Dolphins of Miami at the Patriots of New England. We got a minus 2.5 point spread in favor of New England, minus 145 on the money line, 44 points for the over/under.
What the heck did this line come from? Like, where the heck did this line come from? Sorry. Okay, yeah, the Patriots have a pretty good defense. They've got a rookie under center who hasn't played a snap in the league, and he's minus 2.5 at home.
But they have Cam Newton.
No, they don't. He's gone.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. Mac Jones. Mac Cheeseburger Jones is under center for the Patriots. He's like a 23-year-old kid with a dad bod already. But anyway, I digress. Tua had a great year last year. I mean, he had a pretty good year. Obviously, Fitzmagic had to save them a little bit, but Miami's also got a pretty darn good defense. They also cover a lot of spreads. So for here, give me Miami to cover that spread. Give me them on the money line and give me the over.
Yeah, and they're both kind of power ranked, kind of right behind each other around 13, 14, 15, kind of in those spaces. All right, the Bears, the Rams. Rams favorite here, -7.5 on point spread, -340 on the money line, and 44.5 on the over/under.
So let's kind of circle back to that 49er Lions line. Very similar to this, right?
Yep.
7.5 points. These are two defensive teams. I mean, okay, take away the fact that other than David Montgomery and Robinson, they don't have a whole lot of offensive weapons in Chicago, but they've got a darn good defense. And when you look on the Rams side, they've got a darn good defense too, but they've got a bit more offensive weaponry. I think 7.5 is too many points. I think the Bears cover this spread. I still take, the Rams on the money line, but at -340, I'm probably not going to touch that. I just don't think that the Rams are going to cover. That's an 8-point spread that they got to score 8 more points. And I think that Trubisky, if he can just turn into a game manager, give the ball to Montgomery and get Robinson downfield, they can put some points on the board. So I'll take LA on the money and Chicago on the line.
Okay, now let's hit the Monday nighter here, which is the Baltimore Ravens over at the Las Vegas Raiders. Ravens favorite here at 4.5 on the point spread, 220 on the money line, and 51 for the over/under on this Monday nighter.
It's a lot of points.
Yeah.
For a defensive team like Baltimore. I like the addition of Sammy Watkins to that offense, but I don't know if the ball is even going to get to him. Lamar Jackson likes to play Madden when he's out there. Just so I don't know about that. Great guy. I think he's a great player. Baltimore covers spreads, so 4.5 doesn't seem like a huge thing for them. But on the other side, you've got Derek Carr. You've got a pretty highly ranked tight end, and Josh Jacobs is a pretty darn good running back. I think this game's going to be close. Ultimately, the Raiders score points, and if Baltimore can score, I think it could hit the over. It is a lot of points, but give me Baltimore to cover the spread. Give me them on the money line, and give me the over.
Okay, all in on Baltimore and the over. All right, well, that wraps up week 1 of the NFL, and the NFL is back, so that's exciting. Any kind of final thoughts here on what, maybe some teams that you think, you want to put some projections out there as to who might win, NFC, AFC? We haven't done a video like that where we've had some projections of who we think is going to win. Super Bowl,
maybe we should.
Very early, but maybe we could do that. Maybe we should do a video on it.
I think we just answered our own question right there.
Okay, let's do it.
What I'll say is, there's going to be some weird spreads this year. So you got to learn to read those spreads, especially when they're moving quickly. For those novices, obviously, you don't want to just bet the chalk because sometimes that just doesn't work. You want to build your little system. Look at the games that have already been played. Find some value in there. Use that. Build your system out. Or if you're just hey, I'm going to toss $2 and whip it, then go for it. But you have to remember, dogs cover 50% of the time. So, I think it's 60% of the time the dogs cover in the NFL. So keep that in mind. In terms of who I think is going to make it through, I think it might be an absolute repeat of last year with Tampa and KC.
You took the words out of my mouth, man. That's exactly what I'm thinking, unless maybe Green Bay instead of Brady.
Yeah, so if I take 2 dark horses, my dark horses are going to be the Bills and the Packers, to maybe upset the balance a little bit. But it's tough to go against a team in Tampa Bay who's got 22 returning starters. I mean, that's ridiculous off of a Super Bowl team. And then, I think Mahomes is going to take that next step in his career. And, they've got, Edwards-Helaire, they've got Tyreek Hill, they've got Travis Kelce. Yeah, pretty potent offense. So I mean, it's hard again to go against
grudge, right? I mean, he's going to want.
He does. Yeah. Everyone's calling Brady the GOAT. He wants to be the GOAT, so he's got to.
You got to beat the best to be the best.
Exactly.
And then win another 6 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah. So moving forward, everyone out there, we're going to be doing a game of the week. So check that out. It's going to be a little more in-depth, but we're going to give you more information in terms of how to sway those lines and move the lines. And we'll give you some PFF for that too, some fantasy tips on who to start, who to sit. We'll do that for one game a week. If you guys like it, we could maybe expand it, but we're going to do one game a week just to start off to see how it goes. But check us out. We'll probably, I don't think we've decided what day we're gonna hit our spreads and our picks. I think maybe Tuesdays, Wednesdays, somewhere around there.
Yeah, probably Tuesday would give it a bit of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check us out Tuesdays, NFL for the next 18 weeks because there's 18 games this year.
Yes, there is. So
expanded schedule. So a lot more going on. A lot of things can happen. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us here for the first week of NFL Bets, where we're covering off all the NFL betting tips. Look out for that Game of the Week video. We'll make sure to get that to you shortly. And we want to thank you guys. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. That's the easiest thing to help grow our channel. Hit that sub button if you want. We do a lot of other sports. Let us know in the comments what you think about our picks, who you're betting this week, what your Game of the Week is. And that's really it for us. We want to thank you so much. I'm Adam.
I'm Junior, and we're going to see you real soon.